Coming to you from the trenches of Blue Collar America, the place where the wheels of America are kept turning and turning. It's the Blue Collar Success Network, hosted by blue collar business coach, author, and speaker Sheryl Isenhour with CVC Coaching. Take it away, Jerry.
Hey, and this is Sheryl Isenhour again with CVC Coaching, and I appreciate you joining me in for another edition of Blue Collar Success Network. Today, I've got someone joining me here, I'm a real lucky guy. In some ways maybe I'm not. Because you know what? My wife is also a coach. And she actually has a distinction. She is certified by the Zig Ziglar Corporation, and even further, she is the 14th certified coach in the world that Zig Ziglar has ever certified, which is a pretty impressive status to go. First, she was a Ziglar trainer, and then she progressed up and got to the level of a Ziglar certified coach. In fact, she just recently released her first book out, and it's really phenomenal, and she's got a lot of advice. So, Cheryl, this is Sheryl Isenhour. I appreciate you coming in with me today, sweetie.
Glad to be here.
So, I'm going to ask you a question. Like I said, the people that are listening to this podcast, they're owning blue-collar businesses. It could be any number of different occupations. But today I want to ask you about a key consideration or a key train of thought that Ziglar teaches. And one of the things I remember from Ziglar is you always give value to others. And when you give to others, it comes back to you in such massive amounts. And, I think one of the things Zig said, if you help enough people get what they want in this world, they'll help you get what you want. So can you talk on that a little bit and how these listeners can benefit from this in their daily lives, both in their business and their personal relationships?
This is called the Action of Bri Prosody. What you hand out, you'll usually get back twofold. I have found out that if you start out with value instead of asking for something, if you need to give something first. Without doing that, they have no reason to give back. So with the Ziglars and the training that we looked at, the more you can give, the more you get. And I think we all tend to do that in our daily life. I know when you and I post on the internet, we're always trying to give out points of value. Not to get anything back, but just to help other people. And that has always helped me out. I've always been a giver. And I've been so extremely lucky in life to get a lot of things back. You and I give. We always do. But again, without giving value, we're just kind of stuck in a world of our own. And again, somebody's got to be first. And I always believe it should be me.
Well, let me ask you this. You recently wrote a book. What was the title of that book?
I'm glad I did.
I'm glad I did. And what you did, you also gave away free ebooks. And you've also given away quite a few printed versions of this book. And that's a value you're giving others in life. How has that come back to benefit you from giving the free e-copies over your Facebook promotions or in just handing one to them? And what's it like when you sign a book for somebody? What do they come back and tell you later after they've read the book?
Oh, nothing gives you any more pleasure than somebody to put their arms around you and say, your book helped me. And mine is about dealing with elder people, which if you're lucky enough to have parents that live long, you're going to be forced either to take care of them or make sure somebody does. And when I started this, I really didn't look at it quite as strongly as I thought it would come back. I knew it would be of a benefit to people, but I have been getting so many emails back about, you made me cry. And that's not what I wanted to do. But when you cry, you have an emotion, you have a feeling. And when you have a feeling, then you can do something about it. And it's just been so great to have the words come back. I've gotten quite a few reviews, and mine's just a business card book. The full version hopefully will be out before the end of the year. And all I've got to say is if this little short story about my dad and the time that I spent with him can come back and help people like this one did, I mean, it's a feeling that unless you have it, you don't understand it.
Okay, well, I talked about you here being a business coach. But let's go a little deeper. So, tell me some of the jobs that you've had in your life that would be described as blue collar.
Blue collar. I hung wallpaper for 22 years. That's about as blue collar as it gets. I guess you'd classify a long haul truck driver as blue collar. Never really had the white collar job. Be honest, never had a chickie job. Then we worked at the fireplace and the chimney doctor, started constructing islands. Now I own a manufacturing plant. Again, not a chickie job. It's blue collar. And that's what so many of the people I associate with are in.
So, from going through the Ziglar training that you've done and the Ziglar coaching philosophies, what would have benefited you when you ran the wallpaper company some years ago and what you're doing now that would have made that more successful? You know, it's kind of like they always say, you don't know what you don't know till you find out what it's all about later on, which usually comes later in life. So, what do you know today that you would share someone that may be in their 20s or 30s, they've started a business? What have you learned from all your coaching and all your training that could help these young guys and gals to reach their dreams?
The one biggest thing, and I always did it to a point, but I've become such a better listener. Instead of just hearing what people say, I'm learning to hear what they don't say. So when years ago it was like they said jump, you said how high. Now I ask why. And I understand people more. It's not a job anymore, it's a profession.
I understand. So, what would you tell somebody? How can they build? You've hit a really good thing here, which is the skill of listening. In fact, I did a seminar last week in Louisville, Kentucky, and that was one of the big things that I talked about was developing the skill of listening to people, not to listen to understand, not to listen to compose a reply, which is what we often do. So, what would you advise someone? How do they learn these skills to listen?
Number one thing, shut up. Then after you shut up, open your ears and your mind and your heart to what they're saying. People will tell you what they want. They will tell you what they feel. If you'll give them time, we all jump back in with a half answer on a half question, which makes no sense if you're answering the wrong question that they're asking, which I have been known to do. And I have found out that if I will listen to the whole question and also not just listen, I'm a big reader of body language. I think that's as important as the ears. The crossed arms, the smirk on the face, the slanted eyes. If you will just watch and listen, you can learn what that person's actually thinking, not what they're saying. Because a lot of times they just mumble and they never tell you till you just listen. Again, listen with your eyes.
You know, one of the things that we preach here at CVC Coaching is building the enthused customer. So is that a part of the process that can help build an enthused customer by developing these skills to listen, interpreting what the customer wants, and delivering what the customer wants, which we may not truly understand what they're actually looking for, is listening a way that people are going to be able to profit from this?
Yeah, because, I mean, we, especially in blue collar and especially in retail, you talk, you start throwing your product out there, you really don't know what the people want. I remember one time when you were working with a customer and all the lady wanted to hear was that it poofed up the fire. She didn't want to know the technical stuff. So you have become much better in your listening because at that time you talked, you didn't listen, and you didn't have the enthused customer. And I'm just saying I'm me. 99 out of 100 salesmen I hear sell their product. They don't sell what the customer wants.
And this kind of brings it back full circle. I think this is one of the ways that we go back to that true word we started this out with, which was value. I think this is one of the things that you can show people that shows them that there is value in you as a human being, and there's value in what you're going to offer them, and there's going to be value in the product or your service that you provide. Would you agree with that?
100%. Value is the amount of time that you take with a person to understand them. It's not the product you're selling them. It's the value you give to who, what, and when they're looking for.
Okay. So let's end this. Let's just kind of remind people what your specialty is. And I want you to tell listeners how they can contact you and why would they want to contact you? Why would a person be seeking out Sheryl Isenhour to set up a conversation, whatever with?
Well, easiest said, I've spent a whole lot of years being Cheryl. I have worked in family-owned businesses, which is one way that I lead in the direction of trying to help other people that work in family businesses. Another thing is working with aging parents. I'm working with that more now. I did that from the time I was 6. I was real lucky to start taking care of parents when I was really early, and very lucky to be really old when I quit. And the best way to reach me is welcome to use my cell phone, 704-425-0211, or email me at Sheryl with a S, Sheryl, at cvccoaching.com. Just let me know what you need. We're always here for you.
Okay, we want to appreciate you joining us in. Give us a few minutes of your time. It's really an honor. It's a privilege, and it's a pleasure to be able to share our words, our thoughts with you. This is Jerry, cvccoaching.com, and we're looking forward to you joining us on a future podcast as we share what we feel are the tools and wisdom that can take you to your dreams. Talk to you next time.
Thanks for joining us here at the Blue Collar Success Network, sponsored by CVC Coaching and hosted each week by coach, speaker, and author Sheryl Isenhour. For more information on the services provided by Jerry and CVC Coaching, look them up at cvccoaching.com. Our mission here at Blue Collar Success Network is to help blue-collar pros like you turn your business dreams into your business realities. Let's talk.